This is Movies, a podcast by the Act of Cinema, and with me today, he is a hot new movie star doing screenings across the country, talking in person, motivational speeches. It is Hans.
Speeches? Yes, I'm
You
giving.
can't, hold on, you're not going to judge
I
my
was about to say.
pronunciation of anything. Who do you think you
I
are?
was. I was about to say monological speeches, and then I realized that makes no sense. I don't know why that just popped in my head, and it's like, yeah, monologues, right? Monological, is that a word?
Did you ever see the Vagina Monologues?
No, I know what it
It
is,
was a
but
big show in the 90s. I think it was a bunch of women on stage talking about their vaginas. Nowadays, we just call that stand up comedy.
didn't they do the same with weed? Remember when weed was like this weird thing that nobody does? And then they had like, I think it was like the marijuana monologues or something like that too.
Was that Doug? What's his name? Doug? I was
Probably.
gonna say Doug Stanhope. It's not Doug Stanhope. Doug.
No. Dog loves movies.
Doug
Dog.
Loves Movies did that, didn't he? He did Super
Yeah,
Weed Me or
maybe.
something.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He
It's funny.
disappeared. He vanished as soon as weed culture went mainstream. It was
Well,
like we don't have
yeah.
use for you anymore.
No, it's like everyone smokes weed. You're not the only one now. So, what's your, what's your his appeal? I guess wasn't his movie reviewing show big,
For a period, of
right?
course, yeah.
Yeah,
He
and
was one
then
of the top movie podcasters when there were very little movie podcasts before we came along. We ran him out of town, some would say.
yeah. What was it called? Is
Doug
it?
Loves. You said it already. Doug
Oh,
Loves Movies. That was the name of the show.
sure.
We can't
That is
remember
true.
his
Yeah.
actual name. We just remember the podcast name. All this to say, we want to plug these upcoming Mass State Lottery screenings for August. We have Boston, New York, Los Angeles, and Athens, Georgia. Check those out at mslfilm.com. You're going to see all the dates. You can buy tickets through the website. You can also buy t-shirts. Boston is almost sold out, and I'm considering maybe we do a second screening in Boston. Maybe. We'll see. We got to see how all these other ones perform first before I can start thinking, okay, we're going to do two in whatever city. New York is going to be next up. Athens is part of the Athens Film Festival. We're not going to be in person maybe for that one. I might be. I don't know. There's a lot to be figured out there. I think at the very least we're going to be doing a Zoom Q&A session because they have announced that they're going to be doing that. And for Boston and New York, you will see Hans and I in person. Los Angeles, you're just going to the movie, and I pre-recorded something, a little special
Yeah.
for that audience. And you might get a preview for future projects. We'll see.
Oh, yeah. We're not going to California. That's the most difficult one, I think,
You can
to
go to
go
Cal.
to.
I'll send you to California to go with Jerry and do that. I think I'm good on Los Angeles personally.
I think if the same distance that it would take me to go to California will be the same distance it would take Jerry to go to Los Angeles, I think, right?
Uh, mm, no, I don't think so. Well, it depends. I mean, listen, Jerry might be coming out for these Northeast screenings. We're trying to figure out what is the arrangement going to be, who can we get to show up, and there's a lot that is to be decided with that. But at the very least, you're going to see my face. That's almost for certain, and probably most likely Hans's face. But he does get stage fright, so I don't know.
Yeah. So you might not see my face. I'm just gonna be wearing a mask and a suit, a
That
full
would actually
body
be
suit.
hilarious for you to show up wearing like a Squid Game mask and not come out of that. You should do a cloak. You should do the eyes
Yeah,
wide shut mask.
I just don't say anything. It's just me there. But is it me? And then no one would know if I actually showed up or not, you
Everything
know?
sounds like it's a tape recorder whenever you speak. That
Yeah.
that could be
Well,
fun.
yeah, because no one can duplicate my accent. Have you heard? For even Podawful couldn't do an impression of me. He got you, but his impression of Hans was pretty bad.
Did he try an impression of you?
I'm pretty sure you sent me an audio from Ryan Katsu once, where I think he tried. But I just think my accent is so all over the place that it's difficult to like pinpoint where it is, because I might mispronounce a word for one reason, but I'll mispronounce the next one for a reason that's different than the last one, so it doesn't make any sense.
Mm-hmm.
So it's yeah, we're
No,
difficult
yeah,
in that
I'm
particular.
still discovering new accents in your voice. When I was editing
Yep.
Disorderly, I was like, damn, he sounds pretty German here, as a matter of fact. Now he sounds Latino. Is that
Yeah.
Chinese? I don't know. It's hard to say. But I think the best way to figure that out is in a theater, listening to the theater sound system, getting surround
Yeah.
sound, Dolby, probably, I would hope, of Hans's
Yeah.
voice.
This of what I used to sound like 5 years ago. It's a lot different than what I sound like now. My accent was less thick, and yeah. But yeah, go to I mean, I'm taking some time off work so we can, come and chill and hang out with some of you people from the internet, and I'm sure will come and say hello. Hopefully, not without a weapon. Uh, and yeah, it should be fun. Should be a good time.
I think it's going to be a blast, and we're definitely going to have some people from our movies roster in terms of guests who are going to be showing up to these screenings as well. So look forward to that. MSLfilm.com has all the details on dates. Again, Boston almost sold out. We have like maybe 10 tickets left, 10 at the max. So if you're in the New England area, go to that screening. New York, that's going to be a really fun time. Los Angeles, great venue, classic venue. We're showing that where Robert Altman used to do like theater practices and shit. Like it's a very historic venue, great place. And then Athens, of course. I don't get a dime from that. We don't get any money from that. That's all to them. They figured that out. It looks like it's going to be a really cool setup with that whole festival, and I'm very happy to be a part of it, and I'm glad that they picked the movie. And I encourage you to go if you're in the South until we figure out how to do maybe a Nashville screening. I think that could be potentially, honestly, looking at where everybody's located who listens to this show, because I do study all of the statistics and who hangs out in the Discord, who buys shirts, who does all the active stuff that helps keep this show and this whole company afloat. It looks like it's probably going to be between Chicago, Nashville, and Austin for wherever we wind up showing it next. But yeah, MSLfilm.com.
What about Europe? When do you think our first European date will be?
We already did Europe. We did Rome. We did Italy.
No, but right. I just meant like for us to go and hang out with our European
I don't know,
friends.
2028 when we do like 3 of these movies and we finally get an actual budget. When the budget for a
when
movie isn't $2,000, maybe. I don't know.
when one of them turns a profit for the first time, I think we might think about
Actually, you
that.
know
Yeah.
what? Listen, this whole screening setup has officially turned a profit as of today. I've passed broken even for the theater arrangement, so I'm very happy about that. If we can keep that going, let's do that because I want to show this movie to as many people as possible and then throw it into whatever comes next, or Hans's pocket, Jerry's pocket, whoever's coming in. So
Yeah.
let's do it. All right. Speaking of filmmakers, we do have a filmmaker on this evening for this episode. How about we throw him in to the call?
Yeah. Sounds good. Where the fuck are my notes? Oh, here you are.
You took notes.
Yeah. They're a 3-hour movie. I had to do something to
I actually forgot it was so long. What's happening, Ralph? How you doing, buddy?
How are you?
We were just doing our plugs at the beginning of the show, so you didn't have to be subjected to it.
Oh, well, thank you so much. Yeah, I was just reading your email. Yeah, you have a screening dates. You have a screening coming up.
So Hans and I, we've been working on a film for like 5 years, and
Wow.
it took a very long time, and we're finally putting it out in theaters. Nobody wants to do it for us, so we're
Mhm.
gonna tour it around from Boston, New
That's
York.
cool. It's a feature film.
It is a feature film, yes.
That's awesome. I'll try to catch it if it's possible.
Well, Ralph, I know that your background kind of mirrors my background. You spent some time in Boston, and you are from New York, right?
Yeah, yeah. I was basically born and raised in New York, but then yeah, went to Boston for college.
Okay, I'm from Boston originally, and then I moved to New York afterward.
Oh, cool, cool. Yeah. Yeah,
So I noticed
it's
that
nice meeting both of you too. Nice to meet you, Hans. This is like the first time I've
Hey.
ever talked to either of you. So,
this is no, that's not true. That is
oh
not
yeah.
true. Hans, do you want to pull up? I should have planned this in
Oh,
Oh,
advance.
were you at the?
We
yeah,
were at
yeah,
your
yeah.
screening, Ralph.
Oh, you were. Oh, okay.
Yes.
You were. Okay,
Yes.
both of
And
you.
we also had our third pal with us, who's the Montreal bodybuilder.
I figured it was you guys who reached out, and I'm like, yeah, I think it was. I wasn't like 100% positive though. I didn't realize you had like a whole podcast and everything. Like you were real profesh. Like
Like,
I was going through
well,
your
speaking
looks.
speaking of professional, if I remember my Instagram password, I would pull up the picture right now, but I'm having issues like the 40-year-old man that I am
Oh,
trying to
great.
remember what my fucking password
Well, I
is.
guess yeah, it's nice to see you guys again. Rather nice to meet you. I appreciate you coming to my thing as well.
It was a really fun time. You know,
Yeah.
we've had a history on this show, and we've crossed over with another show called Is It Kino, where we're gonna cover all the YouTuber movies that have ever existed, and then they covered like my movie because I have a YouTube channel,
Oh, okay.
and so we've covered all of your films, Ralph.
Oh God. Wow. What an honor. Let me. I have a picture on my wall of the premiere. Um, like for Whispers and Shadows. Where like I want to see if you guys are on it.
We're probably somewhere in the background, very Where's Waldo style.
Let me just check it here. I mean, I definitely. Well, yeah, there's that one.
Okay,
Yeah,
Hans, you
I
did
have
figure
my
it out.
own.
Yeah.
That was such a special night. I have all my. I don't think you guys made. I mean, maybe you're in the background, but
On that picture,
I don't know. I don't know this one.
we're on the
Yeah,
front
this
row
picture.
on
That's
the
right.
with the screening.
Yeah. So yeah, that's Hans.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
Yes,
that's definitely you guys. Yeah, for
yes,
sure.
we were the 40-year-old looking men.
Yeah, and then him. Yeah, that's what's his name? The guy with the
The nose band-aid, that's
yeah.
Ryan Gosling in Blade Runner 2049, right?
Yeah,
That's our friend DC Darius, who's a filmmaker as well from
yeah,
Montreal.
but no, it was a cool look. I'm like, I should have cast him for the movie with like just that. Like, if he came to the audition with that, I would be like,
The heavy.
I
Yeah.
got
Yeah,
he's
he's gonna love to hear that. You
Wait,
know,
no,
I wonder.
yeah.
Nobody knows why he wears that bandage on his nose. His nose is fine. It's just like a breathe right strip he leaves on all the time. So
Oh, okay, I see, I see. But
yes,
it's cool. I don't want to make fun of him or whatever. But yeah,
I
yeah.
want to make fun of him. He doesn't take it off at all. He wears the same one after. I
Cool.
mean, maybe he just doesn't shower or
I
anything,
think it's like
So
Bane
that's
when
what
you
I'll do.
pull the mask off of him, then he
Oh,
suddenly shrivels up and he's weak. It's the same thing with the
Yeah,
bandage.
exactly. Hmm. Yes, I love Dark Knight Rises. I don't know about you.
Oh, I think it's underrated. But hold on, I want to talk about your screening first because your
Yeah,
short, I remember, tore the house down. There was a girl who was like wooing in the audience and everything. It was a really fun time.
yeah. This girl here, she made it on.
You got a picture.
Oh, she made, and her boyfriend or husband or whoever, who yeah, he's very well dressed, which is he looked great. It's just funny, like no one knew how to dress for it because no one knew like what kind of event it would be. Like, is it like casual or? But like, yeah, I thought the event was great. Like, it was great. It played in like a film festival. Um, I think I had an easier time of that because it's a short film, you know.
Yeah.
Like you guys are saying, you're having a hard time feature. Like, yeah, that like I thought about that, like going into it. I'm like, do I want to make a feature? Because it's like, because Lover's a feature. It's fucking pain in the ass. I mean, I don't have to tell
Mm.
you. Lover
yeah.
took
That's first.
about, yeah, 4 years, like around that. So
It's a big investment to make, and it can't be taken lightly when you're
yeah,
diving into it. But you know, I thought your latest was like a real. Did you use squibs? Did you use like blanks and stuff like that, or was that all
no, it's
digital?
all CG. Yeah, there's a
Really?
lot of CG throughout the whole movie. So my friend Paul Pierantozzi, who I met in Emerson when I went to Boston, I went to Emerson Film College in Boston. I met him. He's really talented cinematographer. He's a director. He directed his own shorts and stuff. He directed a short recently. I think it's called To the Moon, something like that. Like, not Fly Me to the Moon. I get confused with the Scarlett Johansson movie that I didn't see. But he was super talented. He's also a super talented VFX artist. So like I really worked with him. Like, we storyboard a lot of stuff and like, pre-rendered. Like we have CG pre-rendered like storyboards too of everything, and like conceptually too. I'm like, the whole thing's at night, right? So the visual effects will look better. It's easier to hide that stuff. Yeah, like all
Mhm.
the squibs are CG, all the like the car stuff, a lot of the car stuff, not all of it, because we shot a lot of real car stuff that just wasn't usable. It was too shaky. So I'm like, let's do it in CG. It looks great. The car accident looked great. I mean, you were there at the screening. Like my parents were there. They felt like I crashed my car. Like my dad was pissed. He was like calling the insurance company. You know, like my son crashed his car. Yeah, it looked so good on the screen and in that environment in the dark theater with the it creates that
It
atmosphere.
sold it.
Yeah, the movie's all about atmosphere, really. Whispers and Shadows. It was just all about like the atmosphere, 100%. Like that Blade Runner kind of. Well, I think I watched some of your guys because you had like a podcast on Whispers and Shadows, right? Where you talked about it.
Yes.
um, which was good. I didn't listen to the whole thing. I listened to bits and pieces of it, but there was like a lot of good stuff you said about like my best stuff, like King Candy, how it like takes from directors, but it's very clear what my influences are. But that's a good thing because it gives the audience some kind of like grounding point or like point where they
Mhm.
can enter it. Like King Candy's clearly like Wolf of Wall Street, right? So you know what kind of movie it's going to be. So you watch the whole thing knowing what kind of movie it's going to be, and it's actually very enjoyable because of that, right? And like Whispers and Shadows, I'm going for like Ridley Scott, which is very different. I love Scorsese, and I'd love to make a movie like that King Candy, like Wolf of Wall Street style,
Mm.
because that's like a Scorsese. But like if you watch Scorsese's films, not all of his films are like that, right? Like Goodfellas is like that, and Casino and Wolf of Wall Street's like that like fast-paced tone. But then he has movies that are like After Hours and
Yeah.
very different. Like Whispers and Shadows is kind of like After Hours. That's one of my inspirations for it because it's all in one night and it
One night.
follows like this guy or whatever. Obviously very different, but Scorsese, right? He jumps around all these different genres. Like Silence is a very different movie, and Age of Innocence, where he has period films and what's that? I was gonna say the one where Robert De Niro, um, Cape Fear.
Cape Fear.
All right.
Yeah, like they're very versatile. So it's like if I want to be that kind of director, like I'm not saying I'm as good as of a filmmaker as him. I'm just saying he's an influence.
Of course.
Like I should make different kinds of films. I shouldn't make like King Candy 5 times.
No, I think it's good to stretch your muscles.
Which
Well,
is
how does it feel anytime you? Because I've done this one other time where we've exhibited an episode from a sketch series that Hans and I and our like group of guys worked on back in 2019. But what is the feeling when you're in a theater with an audience and your movie's going to be shown and riding that wave?
it's nerve-wracking.
Ugh.
You're really nervous. But at the same time, like it's also kind of boring because I've seen my own movies so many times. So when
Right.
I'm watching it, I'm like, like I know what's gonna happen. But like I don't know, it was cool watching it there because the whole cast and crew were watching it too, and they clearly were enjoying it and just being part of the film. Um,
Well,
and they
that's
were
even
really
more that's even more nerve-wracking, I think, right? Having all the cast and crew there, just what if they don't like it, you know?
Was that the first time they watched it?
I sent them screener links.
Okay.
So
Okay.
some of them had seen it. I think some of them didn't screen it, or some of them didn't watch it, because they wanted to like, I want to experience it, which I'm like, cool.
Mm.
But some of them wanted to screen it before. Like Emma, the actress who plays Emma, Kate, she screened it before. She's like, no, it was great. I watched it, with my husband. We really enjoyed it. I'm like, that's good. I'm glad you liked
Yeah.
it.
I think that's
No,
that's that's probably what it's going to be for us too, where it's like, okay, cool. So this is cool for the first 10 minutes, and then it's like, I've seen this so many times that I don't actually want to be sitting here and watching the whole thing, right?
No,
yeah,
I don't want to
you
endure
gotta
it
sit through all those
personally.
other movies and
Hmm.
whatever. But yeah, it's all those other filmmakers. I respected their work and what they did. It's tough to make a film,
Mm.
as you know. But yeah, it's just as far as like that screening, it was nerve-wracking, but it's that's what I wanted. Like at the end of the day, I wanted it to be shown in the theater at least once, like really like in a film festival environment. Because like to get in that, it's so competitive and difficult to like get into festivals and stuff. Um, and you need all these big actors and I mean, I talked about it. I went on some other podcast when I was talking about Whispers and Shouts. I talked about the same thing, like all these. film festivals. Like they're indie festivals, but then you see like Joey King is in one of the movies. Like Joey
Yeah.
King is like in Netflix movies. Like it's not indie necessarily. It's indie by Hollywood standards, but it's just tough to get in a fucking theater in general. So
Yeah,
like
it's indie with like $1 million budget, right? It's like an indie
like an
movie
A-list
with
star
a,
in it. Yeah,
yeah,
where you're
with
the
a
star of
production
like
company
the
behind
Kissing
them. It's
Booth
like, oh,
trilogy. You know,
yeah.
it's again, I'm not dissing her. That's the business. It's rough. It's rough to get in the theater. And so like when I got like, oh, your movie got accepted to the film festival, and like I just submitted it to them hoping it would get in. It's not like oh, I knew people or whatever. Like I was just hoping they would enjoy it, and I sent them like a pamphlet about like the music and how much we put into the music and the tone of it and the actors and like the stuff I'm telling you, the atmosphere. And they were like they were on board. They liked it. So,
And
it's good.
the short film festivals especially can become so competitive,
Yeah.
and it's very difficult to like find anywhere like it's just a very tough process across the board, and that's something we've learned with features, especially like and you got to watch out for some festivals where it'll be like, we're gonna do an online festival, and it's like you didn't advertise that,
Mhm.
so you're just gonna put my movie out on the internet. I don't think that's gonna happen,
Yeah, or
so
like in other countries, like,
Yeah.
I want to
mhm.
go to like, I don't know, Italy
Yeah,
or
and
whatever, my
then the
movie.
movie just appears on platforms for some
Then it's on
Yeah.
reason, and you didn't upload
YTS.MX
it.
and 123 movies.
And
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whispers and Shadows is about New York, so I was hoping it would get into like a New York film festival. So it got into like the New York Short Film Festival. I'm like, all right, that's perfect. That's like exactly what I'm looking for. All these like establishing shots of buildings and stuff.
Yeah, but
Um,
that's definitely something that we just went through with this movie too, right? How many festivals was that submitted? Lewis?
You want me to say how many we've been rejected from? Is that what you're
I
asking me right
mean,
now?
I
That's
mean,
not going to happen.
it's just like, yeah, well, like I've been rejected from festivals. I think everyone has. It's just that's part of it.
Oh, yeah.
And it's rough because yeah, you pay all these entry fees and right, it's kind of you don't know what you're gonna get.
oh yeah.
Yeah. Was
Um,
this the first time that you had something screened for a full
No,
audience?
no, I had The High, that was Queens World Film Festival. That was in Astoria. That's a really I hope I get in that one again one day. Like that's a really nice festival, Queens World Film Festival, and
Is
that
that
was
at
run by
Kaufman?
yeah,
Okay.
Kaufman
I'm
Cinema.
from Astoria, so
Oh,
Kaufman's,
okay.
I won't dox
Yeah, like
myself, but
that's like
it's,
I walked right around there. Yeah, they screened there. They had like a ceremony there. That's where I won an award like for that film. So it was pretty cool. Like 16 years old, in a film festival with like adults. Like I'm like 16 years old. And there's like fucking like 30-year-old men there like holy shit. He's like a 60-year-old kid. And then I win like the award on top of it. And for my film. Yeah, at the coffin place, which yeah, that was crazy. But I guess yeah. So I had that, and then I had King Candy screen there, which the year after that. Um, so yeah, so those, and then it's been a while since I had a movie screen in a festival. Like I had Lover was like a straight to digital thing basically. It was a feature, which was cool. And then what was Golden Hour was like a mini series. So again, it's not like they didn't screen it anywhere. So yeah, Whispers and Jacks really like the first thing in a while since I've like, since I got out of college.
are you
Yeah.
planning a feature to follow up Whispers and Shadows?
Um I'm working on something right now. Um Something more comedy focused because everyone's like you got to make a comedy. Like what's with all the dark But like I wanted to make a dark film. I don't know. I just when I wrote it, I'm like well when I first started writing it, I just sort of imagined these like visual like these parts of the movie like visually like the top down shot of like the two cars driving on the highway. That's like one of the first things I sort of imagined like oh that would be cool if that was in a movie. That would be a cool shot. I started kind of building it all from there. Like was it this secret criminal world or whatever that's like John Wick and it's run by this badass boss lady and and then you make like this I insert myself into it kind of which people criticize. But also, when I did that, I knew like I have the okay amount of gun training, and so I knew the gun stuff would look acceptable. And like a lot of because you watch the movie, there's a lot of physical stuff in it, like like the guy gets shot and he falls on top of me, and like me running with the gun and whatever. And the props we're not using real guns, we're using airsoft guns, but it's like it could be dangerous. So like I felt like it was more out of like responsibility. Like I didn't want to get hurt for like my little movie. Um, so I'm like, let me just play that part. And I think, I think I justified it pretty well just because of that action that I had. Like it was mostly action. I'd have a lot of dialogue. Um,
It's really difficult to shoot action stuff when you don't have like a whole crew behind you that knows or that can help you with all that stuff. Because we shot a
sure.
couple of fighting sequences where it was just kind of like, well, we're gonna make it realistic, so we're gonna take a
Yeah.
couple elbows to the face, and at the end we did end up,
Right.
actually like hitting each other a
It's
little bit,
difficult.
but
It
it's
was
all
mostly
for
you
it to
hitting
look,
me. Like I
yeah.
had what I thought was fake blood on me, and I think it was actually real blood.
All
So
my movies have little action stuff too. Like The High has like a little fist fight in it, but yeah, nothing like this. This was like shootouts and stuff. But yeah, like
But that's
the
the toughest part,
CGI
I think,
helped.
because like if you're like, we're big critics of when something doesn't look right, and it's just like, well, either don't put it in or at least try to make it look realistic. And I think, especially because the characters are not like trained fighters or anything, so a sloppy fight makes sense. And I think we
Sure.
do have like a very
Yeah,
sloppy
and
fight
like my
that
character
works. Yeah.
Franklin, it's not like you don't have to take him as like he's the most badass like John Wick. He's just
Right.
like a criminal guy, and like he could. But the way I was like holding the gun and whatever, like I had a pretty good stance. Like I must say, like 'cause they took behind the scenes photos. I saw like you saw like a side angle, like my posture. I'm like, yeah, like I could probably actually hit someone,
Well,
which is
we
better than
put
like
you.
most action movies. The guy holds it with one hand and like sideways. It's like you won't be able to hit shit. That's like more stylized. But like for this movie, I wanted the gunplay to be like more realistic.
We put
I
your.
thought it looked really solid. And honestly, you
Yeah,
telling
thank
me that
you.
it
You
wound up
saying you
being
thought the squibs were like real squibs is like such an honor
I
because
was
all that.
convinced. I was convinced
Yeah,
it was all legit on camera, not
yeah, it
digital.
looks so good now, like the squib stuff. And it's just like because I had like again, Paul was like, we should have used real squibs. I'm like, no, man, it looks good. You don't need that. And the squibs look fake too. Like the RoboCop, whatever. It looks amazing, but it looks like, it looks like a movie. Like, and this was going for like that realistic gun violence. It's not like big like Quentin Tarantino, like,
Of course.
but there's like, a scene where like a guy gets shot in the head in Whispers and Shadows. It's like kind of sudden, but like you can't do that with a squib because it would just not like you would see it like in his shirt or whatever. You would have to cut away, but like it's just CG. You just plop, put it on him. I don't know, but yeah, just like the CGI is easy. It's just much easier than a real squib and more. I used real squibs for Lover, and that was rough. It was just difficult. Made a big mess. Took hours. The movie was black and white at the end of the day, so it wasn't even like worth
Was
it.
that by a choice or was that to like cover up problems that you
It
saw?
was like a third of it was black and white, and then yeah, it was like basically a hide coloring issue. But I think it just worked better for the movie.
My
It's
go to anytime like something in the past when something would get fucked up, I'd be like, let's throw a VHS filter on it. Maybe that'll help solve it.
it was sort of like that. Although a third of it was already black and white. Like let's just put the whole thing because it was going for like stylistic, like the different seasons have different color grading. It was kind of distracting. Um, but yeah, like I love the black and white look. It's like just put that on there. I love black and white. I always tell people if you want your movie to look like 10 times better, if you're like an independent filmmaker, just like make it black and white.
What do you think of the black and white version of Justice League? How about that? There we go. There's a
Well,
segue.
isn't that one more highly rated? I mean,
Yeah.
there you go. That's like a Zack Snyder thought. Like I take that back. That's like exactly what something Zack Snyder would
I
do.
was going to ask. I'm very curious to hear your thoughts because I feel like I've listened. Did you used to have a podcast with Adam from Your Movie Sucks and some other guy? Okay.
Yeah,
Are you a
and
Zack Snyder hater?
yeah, I hated on him
Uh,
recently in one of my videos.
okay. I'm a Zack Snyder cultist, almost certifiably.
You're like a cultist.
Pretty much. Listen. I actually don't like his recent films.
Was this all like a setup?
Yeah, yes, this is a sting operation.
Good.
And then Hans
Yeah,
Hans is
actually, you know
somewhere in
what,
the middle.
Zach? You can
Yeah,
come
yeah,
in.
we got Zach on the line.
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I like some, but I also dislike some of his stuff. Like especially his later stuff is just kind of like
His
uh
later stuff is bad.
yeah.
Like Dawn of the Dead is a good movie. I'll give you Dawn of the Dead. Watchmen's okay.
Okay. I think that movie's a classic. I think that's like top of the line.
Again, I'm not like a big graphic novel comic book person, but like people tell me like the source material's got more depth and like whatever. When I hear about the differences, I'm like, oh yeah, like the all the differences are like worse. Like from how it sounds. Like the sex scene that's like a panel in the comic, and then it's like a 2 minute gratuitous like Leonard Skinner songs
I'll
playing,
give you
and
that. I was uncomfortable in the theater
um
in
the
2009 when
song
that was
choices
playing
in that
out.
movie were terrible. Like when they go to like the Watchtower, they're playing All Along the Watchtower. Like, all right, like why
Yeah,
just fucking
he's
hit
a
me in the
little
head with a ballot?
he's a little I think I have my opinion on Zack Snyder is like he's very good with visuals, but he needs to get it he needs a friend to tell him no, that's stupid, and also someone to just write stuff for him because
Yeah, he's
oof.
he's a bad writer, I think.
Yeah.
The last three movies are proof that he shouldn't be the sole exclusive voice and author of whatever it is he's working on. Because I thought Rebel Moon was pretty rough, and Army of the Dead was not it. It was bad.
I gotta review those like on my YouTube channel. They're
Rebel
like
Moon?
they're
Oh, it's
so
gonna be
yeah, the Rebel Moons.
just
Because
a
I try to
long,
save the
miserable.
YouTube reviews for like something special, but those are pretty special and they're like awfulness. Like that's the thing with him too. He's so gratuitous. Like it's so long. It's like 4 hours, 4.5 hours of content with those Rebel Moon
Yeah,
movies
is that like
with
it's
the
like
extended
5 hours,
ones.
right? Is it two and a half
Something
or
like
three
that.
Well, the
hours? Something
director's
like that.
cuts come out to probably 7.
Like you gotta be a sadist to like watch all that. It's because it's not interesting. It's not like, oh, the Avengers, like I care about that, you know. I could sit through like 5 hours of something interesting, like a good TV show.
Did you wind up watching the Snyder cut of Justice League?
Yeah, it's terrible.
You think you're out of your mind. I'm sorry, you're crazy.
The Snyder Cut.
That is
Well,
that
the
is like
original
the
one
third best superhero movie ever.
is terrible. The Joss Whedon cut. Everyone agrees that one. The
Yes.
Snyder Cut one's also like again, it's too long. Like, why is it 3 hours long? Why are there these scenes where like Martha Kent turns into Martian Manhunter and like Amber Heard and Ezra Miller and whatever the Flash and like they all go with that future segment that was gratuitous. It was just too long.
Well, you're basically getting everything you're missing because that's all done and over with. He's like, "All right, we're going to do just like total Justice League one movie. We're not going to drag this out over 6 or
Yeah,
7
it's just
films."
he's trying to tie it all in a bow, kind of.
And
Sure.
I'll say I did not remember that this Superman movie we're talking about tonight, the Richard Donner Superman movie, was 3 hours long.
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
Or
I
well,
should
it
have factored
wasn't,
that into my
right?
day that this was going to be 3 hours and not 90.
Did you watch the Donner cut?
I guess I
Yeah.
did. Yes, I watched it illegally.
Yes.
I'm away right now. I'm not in
Okay.
my usual
Okay.
studio, so I don't have the Blu-ray here, and I just downloaded legally, probably the one that was available to me, which was 3 hours and like 6 minutes.
Yeah, Superman. That's Superman 2 or
No. This was
No, no.
Superman the movie.
oh yeah, and there's a 3 I didn't watch the
It's
3 hour cut. I watched
yeah,
like the
it's a
short one.
3 hour cut that has a bunch of more Gene Hackman stuff. It has more Krypton stuff from the beginning of the movie. I think the initial scene, well, not the scene, like the whole sequence with Krypton exploding is like half an hour, like 20
Yeah.
minutes.
Well, I haven't
Which
seen
I
it.
which I
Yeah.
really liked, by the way. I think I mouthed this movie like 2 weeks ago, right? I said it was
No, you
boring and it
about
sucked,
like
and then I
two
hated
days
Superman.
ago. The last time we
Oh,
recorded,
okay.
you're like, God damn, I
Good.
hate that we have to talk about this Superman movie. I
Yeah,
hate that Christopher Reeve Superman movie.
yeah. And then I watched it for the
I just
first
watched
time in like 30 years, and I was like, you know
yeah.
what? I was like, huh. Everything that doesn't have Superman, I'm liking. As soon as Superman shows up on screen, I'm like, I don't give a shit.
I
His
think you're just
romance with this,
averse to Superman, though.
probably. because I love Jake Hackman in this role. I thought he was so Batman 66
He's the
that
best
I
Lex Luthor. Like I haven't seen a Nicholas Holt one yet, but
but that's not gonna be
it's-
good. But and you know what you're getting with Nicholas Hoult. You're gonna get
he-
whiny, kind of yeah, I
you're
don't
gonna get
know.
slightly better than Jesse Eisenberg. Probably much better than Jesse Eisenberg actually, because his was just that was whiny.
It's
That
yeah.
was based on
Yeah,
Max Landis, the famous Max Landis. So this Nicholas Holt one, I'm not a James Gunn hater, but everything I've seen in terms of just like the dialogue from that movie seems so I guess it feels like they're gearing it towards just like the audience it's supposed to show up to the theater, which is kids, right? But we've been given so many of these superhero movies over the last 15 years that are like clearly actually for 30-year-old men, that this comes along and now it feels like out of tone with anything else that's going on. And
Sure.
I'm not personally a fan of Nicholas Hoult as an actor. I don't think he's as good as Warner Brothers seems to think he is by putting him in every single project.
He's good in like certain projects. Like I like him in Juror Number 2 recently. That was actually a good role.
We actually did Juror number 2 right after your movie, so that
Oh
was a
yeah.
double feature. Yes.
Oh cool. What a
Yeah.
coincidence. Oh yeah. But I enjoyed his performance in that. Um but yeah, then there's just like on the other end like Renfield, which is terrible.
Oh.
That movie was horrible. Yeah.
Um and he just like doesn't know what's going on in that movie, like in terms of his acting. He doesn't know what to do.
Like I don't get this malicious Lex Luthor character naturally off of him, and what I've seen so far doesn't sell me on him giving like a good portrayal of this character.
Mhm.
It feels very Marvel, right? It feels very what I guess James Gunn's style is, which is what Marvel, took advantage of for like a couple of their what do you call them phases, I guess. Not that they do
Yeah.
that anymore. I don't know because I haven't seen a Marvel movie since fucking I
Well,
don't
they're
know
kind of
what.
like struggling. They're not struggling, but they're kind of like on a down curve now.
Yeah,
So like James Gunn's trying to like, oh, let's capitalize on it and make like this new
and do
universe.
the same
This is their
thing they did.
chance to like recover. But yeah, I'm holding out hope for it because I like James Gunn. The Guardians movies are good. Again, they want that tone because it's like, it's like Guardians. He directed Guardians. Like that's the tone we want. Um, and he's good with the ensemble. That's like his thing. He like he can direct like Guardians is an ensemble, so this seems more like it's about Superman, but it's also about well, it's kind of how this one was too. It's about all these other characters, too, and like all these other like the Green Lantern people are in it or
Mhm.
something. And I don't know
Yeah.
what the shit like some guy with wings. But, like a bunch of weird like comic characters show up, and it's like okay, that's like the take on this now. It's more like like more like Marvel, yeah.
Mhm.
Bunch of comic book characters show up, and because like this one, it's great, it's a great movie, but it's not like it's like a corny 60s whatever 70s movie where like it's Superman he gets a kitten out of a tree. Like no one wants to watch it now. Like people want to see like where like where's Bizarro? Where's like there's like a million fucking characters. Like where's him? Where's him? You know?
You know what? I think that's why I liked it though. I think that because it just felt
Yeah,
so
it feels
completely
so
different.
quaint.
So
Yeah,
different from like everything that we've been fed for the past 30 years that I was just
yeah. I
like,
mean,
oh man, I'm enjoying how campy everything is here and how like everyone is just kind of a goofball in a very what is Silver Age comic type of way.
yeah.
So it just feels like a completely different genre that we get now from comic books. So I had fun with this, and I take back what I said a couple of days ago about this movie because, and you know what? That's been happening a lot with this old like comic booky, like all these movies that came before the boom of comic book movies where they all became the same thing. I'm starting to appreciate more this weirdo, like different attempts at making comic books or making superhero stuff before the phases started because
Yeah.
they're so different, and that you can tell that they have no idea what direction to take. But I like the fact that there's at least an attempt to do something different that's not
That's
connected
what's so good about them.
to something else.
It's
Yeah, it's not like I'm watching this and I'm thinking, oh well, Jimmy Olsen shows up, so I can't wait for the Jimmy Olsen
set
Disney
up like a
Plus series.
cinematic universe of 20
Exactly.
films, and he'll be in the next one.
Yeah.
So he's not gonna die, and like I don't know. This is like he's not gonna die anyway. But it's just like I don't. Yeah, you're right. It's like
Which is why it was brilliant of Zack Snyder to make him a hidden CIA agent and get killed immediately in Batman vs
Yeah.
Superman.
Well, yeah, like
Yeah.
Man of Steel, just like it basically just copied this movie and Superman 2. Like in terms of like the story, it's like the same story, like beat for beat. Like you see his planet, there's the drama on his planet, it blows up, except it's not nearly as compelling. And then like he goes on Earth, he has like the drama with like the people in his school or whatever, and then he becomes Superman. Except Zack Snyder just added a bunch of punching and violence.
But could you
Like,
imagine this
bosses
movie if it
bad.
ended
Ooh.
with Christopher Reeve snapping Gene Hackman's neck, and how much better that would be?
Yeah.
And his wig falls off that
Voice
way.
screaming.
That could have been
You
magnificent.
threatened my mother. Punching him. Yeah,
Just
I mean,
punching his curly
gone to
wig
the
off his
second
head.
movie, but still, it's like such a copy. Except all he did was make like he desaturated everything, and he just
So-
made it added a bunch of dumb action and him punching buildings and whatever, which is it's
No.
so terrible.
Me not being an American, maybe this is what I don't understand from the character, right? Because you know, he's supposed to be this hero that fell in Kansas, and now he's like all American, right? Why
Mhm.
is it that they never use his abilities to get out of poverty? Why is it that, okay, I understand that he's not going to be a super athlete, even though he could be a super athlete in like 4 different sports and make a shitload of
Yeah.
money and get his parents over 40, but we see
Yeah.
him run in the goofiest, in the fucking most Luigi way with his feet, just like, because they're obviously, you know, the effects at the time are not there, so he's running his very arms pointing forward and his legs floating.
Yeah. Well, some of it's
But
pretty cool. Like I don't know how they did some of that. I guess he's just on a string, and like when he's running along the train, like the wide shot.
yeah,
I'm like, I
because
don't
it's
see
blurry.
a wire or anything. I had
No,
like
but
that's pretty
it's
good.
like his feet are like blurry
It's still a
behind his
little
feet,
off,
so
but
yeah, so
yeah,
they're like
it
they're
looks
hiding
cool.
something there. But my thought was like, okay, so he can do so many things. Like, you don't have to say he's a super whatever. He can just do the things and no one would know. Why are they still living in a fucking wooden house with his dad dying like the most whatever way? Couldn't he just pick him up and take him to, you know what I mean? Like, and that might be that, you know, he's all American, so you're not supposed to take advantage of disadvantages that you have, and
Yeah,
instead
right.
just stay humble and help your whatever. But that was really
Well,
frustrating because I was
Hans,
just like,
listen,
this-
with the Superman character, because his abilities are so far-reaching, like, yeah, you can point out 100 different plot holes of, like, yeah, he could have saved his dad, he could have done this, he could rob a
Yeah.
bank and give them a mansion,
Yeah.
I don't know, he could do any of those things. You just gotta have to, like, zone out of those possibilities and accept what's in front of your face.
Yeah, it's just kind of go along with it, which is, you know,
Yeah,
it's
turn off your
kind of
brain.
all far-fetched. But like I love in this movie that just the dad has a heart attack and just dies, and that's like it. Like in Man of Steel, it's a tornado. It's like a big a
Just
tornado
punching the tornado.
comes and takes it's like a for IMAX, you know, it's the IMAX scene.
And he has a heart attack inside the tornado and dies,
Yeah,
right?
it's like
That's what
we
happens.
have to sell more IMAX tickets. What if he does a little like the budget for this movie was $55 million. It was the highest budget movie at the time of like all time, Superman. Like that's crazy. $55 million. Movies cost like $500 million now.
Now, let me ask you, does that include both films? Because I know, I don't know if they did, but the
It
plan was
just
to shoot
includes
them
the
back to
first
back.
one.
Okay.
It just includes the first one.
So
I
Mario
believe.
Puzo,
It might be both, but as far as I know, I mean, it could be both. Let
the
me double
script was
check.
written together, and I know that they were trying to like skimp out on money by doing them back to back, which would have been probably the first franchise or first like movie or movies to
Yeah.
do that at that time.
Well, Marlon Brando didn't come back for the second one.
That's
'cause
right. Yeah, there was some sort of
he wanted a
dispute
bunch
there.
of money. He wanted like 20% of like the box office gross or something like that. And they're like, "Fuck!"
Was this also super fat
It's like a
Brando?
ridiculous amount.
Was he like a lot fatter too?
Well, I
than
don't
he
know. He
was in the
wasn't at
first
his
one.
fat phase here, but he was at the phase where he was
Yeah.
reading lines off the baby's diaper and not like
Oh, okay.
Oh,
properly
Is that
memorizing.
that? Yeah.
so he was getting there, I
He was well on
guess.
his
He
way.
looks almost there in the movie, but he was still good. Like when he gave that
Oh
speech
yeah.
to his son or whatever, in the like, be good to them or whatever he says to the
Well,
baby.
it's
Like that was
he's
good. That was
always
good
he's
acting.
always worth it, right? Even in like Apocalypse Now, you're like, oh fuck, this gigantic fat head is so threatening, and it's like, well, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
it's a gigantic fat head because you have to hide his body, so that he's scary,
Well, what
right?
was the
But
movie he
even
was in
then,
towards the end of his life? Like The Score or some movie where I remember it was playing on like a hotel TV and he's sitting down in every single shot. And like to the point where it's noticeable. You don't typically notice that sort of thing. And he's good, but you can tell he was like fucking with them behind the
Mhm.
scenes
yeah,
and being a problem.
he's like, yeah, this is my
So
stinky chair. I don't get out of my stinky chair
I
at
think
all.
it would be a thing like I don't want to go to set with pants on today. I'm just gonna be in my boxers, okay? All right. And then that would be all right. How do we get around that? He's sitting in every. There's a table in every shot. You know, it's that type of situation.
It's like
I
Steven
mean,
Seagal. That's like
Yeah.
exactly
is
the thing. Like,
is there is there still anyone talented enough out there where anyone would put up with this shit in the industry? Like, is there any difficult actors that are
I
still
mean,
working?
there's probably stuff that happens you just don't hear about now.
You just
But
don't know.
Yeah, they're pretty good about keeping quiet.
Steven Seagal was one of those where like, yeah, he always had trouble
Oh
with
yeah.
people getting in fights and whatever.
Well, he was like actually hitting people, wasn't he, during
Yeah,
some
he
of these scenes?
punched John Leguizamo or something like in the face.
Well, he deserved to be punched, probably. I don't know, but I've heard that where he'll do like an actual hit and make contact on people, and then the
Oh,
stunt
like
performers
during a
get pissed
stunt.
off.
Yeah,
Yes, yeah.
yeah. No, I heard that too. Yeah,
Oh, that would be
that's a
so
big no no.
that would be so upsetting, especially from like fat Seagal who's just barely moving his arms and then he just hits you. Ah,
Yeah, it's
I'd
just
be
a big
mad. I mean, in a Russian movie, right? Is that what
him doing
all he's
those.
doing
You
now?
ever see those karate videos of Steven Seagal? Just him doing like karate in real life at those.
Just
Oh,
this.
the guys are
That's
coming at
great.
him, he's just like no effort at all.
Yeah,
That's
it's
like some of
so
the funniest shit I've ever seen. Like,
got the iron fists.
and then they like flip over. Like he goes like this, and they like, like it's clearly like fake. But as far as the Superman budgets, the first one's 55 million, the second one's 54 million. Okay, so they were both about 55 million, like around there. Which again, yeah, that's insane because movies now are like the new Mission Impossible. It's like ridiculous. The budget,
Did
like
that
it's
make
like
money?
400
Did
million.
that do
It's not
well?
breaking
I'm
even.
sure it did. Right? It's a mission. It's
Doing
Tom
well,
Cruise.
doing well now is like $1 billion plus. So I don't even know if it did well. It's box office mojo, Mission Impossible. Because the budgets on them are just crazy, like just ridiculous.
Wow, it's not even
It's Dead Reckoning Part One. That's what it's still called Part
186
One.
million. That's it.
For box office or for the budget?
Domestic, only
Oh,
186
Yeah,
million.
yeah.
That's surprising.
Worldwide's 562 million. So yeah, like that. It's not making its money back because the budget's like 400 million.
mhm.
So
Hmm.
you factor in marketing and whatever. They usually say
Damn.
you have to make 3 times your budget. I don't know if that's accurate, but something around there.
Right,
Yeah,
because
they
you
Well,
have
got
if
to
Mission
account
Im-
for the marketing.
billion.
dude,
Marketing and other stuff.
if Mission
Theaters get
Impossible
like
is not
percentage, and
i-
whatever.
if Mission Impossible is not making money anymore, is a blockbuster officially dead?
Well, I don't know how Formula One's doing, but I think that's doing okay. I think it just depends on the movie. I think movies are too expensive now, is one thing. It's like $400 million to make like a fucking movie, which is crazy. But then also like people aren't going as much because like it's
Hmm.
streaming, which is that's really the big thing is streaming like killing the industry. Everyone just goes like, oh, why would I go to a theater? I could just watch it at home in 2 weeks,
My
like a
underwear, yeah.
companion or whatever. Like no one goes to the theater. People think theaters are dirty. They don't want to get COVID. There's just like
Yeah.
a million reasons like people don't want to go. It's
Yeah.
like
Do you know
it's
how many like Yelp reviews for New York City theaters I've gone to? They're like, you gotta wear your long socks because there are bed bugs in this theater.
oh
So
yeah.
Jesus.
yeah, you're absolutely right.
Mhm.
Regarding these Superman movies from the 70s and 80s, Ralph, I take it you're a DC guy because you have the Batman poster behind you. What is your like? I feel like everybody has their Superman and their
This is
Batman,
when
right?
like yeah, this is when like that stuff's really good. Like the classic Superman, classic era, yeah, Superman, Batman, right? Like those movies, like the Michael Keaton Batman. Those are like some of the best superhero movies ever made. Because like you were saying, Hans, it's like they had no idea what to do. They have like no template to work from at all. So they just like make up their own thing. And it's like they're revolutionary in that way. Like every superhero movie now is basically Superman. Um, like the basically like just exactly the story. Like the what is it? Like the origin story, and he meets his love, he falls in love with a girl. Um, he fights the villain at the end. It's like always the same. It's like it's just Superman.
Well,
Like
especially
Spider.
the ending of this movie where they undo anything bad that happens at the very end by going around the planet. They love doing that too.
Yeah, well, that's like Endgame. They do that. They just go
Hmm.
time travel and undo everything. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Well, my question was, who is your in your head like default Superman, default Batman? Because for me, I
Uh,
grew up with the Michael Keaton Batman films. He's always going to be Batman to me. But I didn't grow up with these Superman movies. I didn't really check them out until probably I was like 10, 12 years old. So what I grew up
okay.
with was the Dean Cain, Lois and Clark, New Adventures of Superman TV series. That was my introduction to that character. So for me,
Oh,
it's like, well,
he's
Dean
super.
Cain is Superman. That's who should be
Oh,
paired up with like Michael Keaton's Batman. It's the perfect
See
combination.
Nicolas Cage is Superman.
That would have been great. That would have been
That would have
awesome.
that would
so
have been
your
great. I love
Superman
that
is
scene in The Flash.
romantic Superman is your Superman then?
Well, it wasn't. Listen, it was romantic, but I zoned out of the romance. Okay, it was when Howie Mandel showed up as Mixius Pitalik or whatever the hell that character's name is, and he was fighting him. You know, that was Superman.
Volvo? Is that your Superman? Yeah.
Is that the one that you're not supposed to say his name 3 times or whatever?
Mixius
Or
Pitalik.
am I
That's
thinking? Yeah.
Candyman. That's
What
Bloody
am I
Mary.
thinking
You're thinking
on?
of.
Another Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
Beetle, Beetlejuice. But yeah, like I'd say Christopher Reeve is probably my when I picture Superman, I'd say Christopher Reeve, yeah. And as far as Batman, um, I love Michael Keaton, maybe Christian Bale though, because I did grow up with those. I saw Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises in theaters anyway. So I kind of grew up with those too. Um, yeah, it's tough. Like it's tough to pick a Joker that I like. Like Heath Ledger's my favorite, but Jack Nicholson's really good. Gene Hackman's easily my favorite Lex Luthor though. Like I said, it's like not even close.
You
It's either
don't. You
him
weren't a
or
fan of Kevin Spacey.
not necessarily, and plus he's a creep.
I
But
would
yeah,
love to see this Gene Hackman on modern. I mean, obviously he's dead, right? But like this character with this performance like this
yeah,
on modern DC, I think would be fun instead of having them be threatening when the character is not
yeah.
really
The Kevin
threatening at
Spacey
all.
one's just embodying Gene Hackman basically. But Gene Hackman today is like what Lex Luthor is. He's kind of just like this confident, um, man. He's like got a lot of money. He's menacing. He's like conniving. He's like he's just like this big evil rich businessman that you're like scared of because he's just evil. But he
Well,
just works. Performance is so
he,
good.
he's Larry's awesome too. Like, isn't
Yeah,
it what in
that
the
too.
subway? And then he has like a
It's
pool
right
and
beneath
and a
what is it?
bunch of
Grand Central Station, isn't it?
yeah,
Yeah.
it's got a bunch of screens that show nothing in particular, just screens on the wall because why not?
Yeah, the set design in the movie is amazing. And I love that like when you watch an old movie, they couldn't have CG set extensions or anything. So you're just looking at a set, and you're like, it's just so fucking big. Like his lair
Yeah.
is so huge, and yeah, it's awesome. Or like the
And
new
every time we go to it, he shows a different area that we haven't seen. You have the
yeah.
bookstore area, you have that pool area where he has like a bunch of trophies and a bunch of shit.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's great. Everything about the character I was a huge fan of. Even his curly ginger wig. Thought that was great.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
scene, yeah.
He takes it off at the end. You see the
Yeah.
classic bald look. Yeah, the Daily Planet, all that design, like the miniatures, all that stuff. Like when you see the Fortress of Solitude and whatever. stuff like that. The home planet. It's like got great, like Star Wars is like that too. Like just great like miniatures and models. Like when that stuff looked awesome. Like people at the top of their game was making it, and yeah. I guess Snyder fans would say this movie's dated. Well, would you say that?
Nah, I would listen.
Hey, this,
I
yeah. Would you
as,
say, because I feel like that's like what like Zack Snder said, like, well, this movie it's good, but it's like, it needs more fighting and explosions, or because it's not like enough action, or like, but
that's
like I
actually a
love.
pretty good Zack Snyder impression. That's not bad.
I'm a master of the Zack Snyder impression. It's like that's like exactly what this movie. That's what I like about it. It's like he rescues a kitten from a tree, shit like that. Like that's Superman. Like
You know what
I
I
love.
find? What I find online is that the people, both on the Zack Snyder side and then the Zack Snyder haters, will make arguments as to why a movie looks bad or is bad for really dumb reasons. And I see this actually specifically with the James Gunn Superman that's coming out is, why does Superman have an attitude? Why is Superman yelling? And it's like,
Up here. The trail.
this is like such a
Look here.
very, it's such a stupid thing to be arguing like the movie's bad because Superman's yelling. It's like you could make the argument like the performance here is a little awkward. What he's saying doesn't really come across as sincere. The problem isn't that he's
Well, yeah.
yelling.
Yeah.
So
There was the people like they were already comparing, like they put a screenshot of him next to Henry Cavill. Like, look how much more buff Henry Cavill is. Like this.
yeah, it's like very little boy
picture,
argument.
like literally a photograph. You're judging a whole movie on it.
Yeah.
like watch the movie. Wait a second. You don't know anything about it. You haven't heard a single line of yeah, but yeah, like you're saying, okay.
So I think these types of arguments of like, a movie being good or bad based off of those types of reasons is ridiculous. As far as this being dated, I don't consider being dated a bad thing. I think that makes it pretty charming. In fact, I like when a movie feels like it exists in the period it does, and it does here. And as far as like the Christopher Reeve Superman movies go, this one I think is terrific. My personal favorite is always going to be Superman 3. However, have you guys gone back to Superman 3 recently?
With Richard Pryor.
Richard Pryor is Gus Gorman. Yeah, that robot at the very end of the movie was haunting, terrifying, nightmare-inducing. So I like all the simplified effects and the nature of the movie in that way. So I'm very positive on that sort of thing.
The effects are really good for the time too. Like this, him flying looks like you don't see any wires or anything. It's like the best, like state of the art they could do at the time, basically. Highest production value. Again, highest budget at the time, 55 million.
Yeah, but it has a charm that I think modern CGI doesn't have. Like if you watch a 2003 movie, the CGI there, it's a lot more distracting than what you get in something like this. And maybe because
Right.
the framing around it, you're kind of like, well, this is the 70s, so I can put up with the effects being a little wonky or not the best. But then when you see a movie from like 2003, 2004, that's really egregious, and it kind of take like Spawn,
Yeah,
this
like Man,
best
even Man of
example, right?
Steel. Like even
Best
Man of
example is
Steel
like
or Batman versus Superman, it just becomes like a cartoon. Like those
the
movies.
the one I always go back to is, I don't remember like when the Spawn came out, but like just Spawn and how he just becomes into like a PlayStation 1 game halfway through the movie, and he just looks horrible. Uh
I've never seen
and
Spawn. I got it
you've
done.
never
No,
I think,
that's one I gotta see.
yeah,
That's a
there's a
John
whole
Leguizamo classic right there. Is Spawn.
Oh yeah.
yeah, there's a whole what, like 20 minutes of him in hell where everything is just like pixels, like PlayStation 1
No,
pixel,
it
like
really is. I mean, Spawn is kind of it's tricky because a lot of the actual practical effects that they apply in Spawn are terrific. Like the makeup and costume design that they
It
use.
looks cool. The
Yeah,
thing.
it's got a very interesting, cool late '90s style to it, in a similar vein to like The Crow or Dark City. There's like a cool gothic street urban vibe that is permeated in '90s movies like that. However, what Hans is saying is totally right. As soon as you get into hell, it is literally, it's worse than a PlayStation 1 cutscene. It's really, really janky looking. It sucks.
Yeah. It's like they were really ambitious with the CGI at the time, but they just didn't. Like it just wasn't there yet. It's like the prequels, the Star Wars prequels, the same thing. Like oh, we can make movies all in like a green screen room and whatever, which you can do that now. That's like what Marvel movies are. But like they couldn't do it at the time. Like when Phantom Menace came out, that was 99. That was like there's a lot of practical stuff in that movie too. Really more Attack of the Clones. That one's like looks horrible. Like the
That's where they go off the deep end.
it's
Yeah.
like ridiculous. Like this like it's all digital backgrounds and green screen and shit. It looks fucking awful. Cuz like at least in episode 3 it looks better. But yeah, like not to talk about Star Wars. Oh, I love Star Wars. But yeah, like Superman there's like it's all practical stuff and there's like, shots, like visual effects shots. There are like a couple of them. They're like, "Oh yeah, that's a shot," but it's like really creative and well done. Yeah, the quaintness of it is just so like I just need that after like Zack Snyder dumbness or like superhero movies now. Um yeah, did you notice the big Cheerios advert like on the mom's house in the mom's house like on the counter? She had like a
On this,
big box of Cheerios.
on Superman?
Like it's
No.
like after the dad died, like after he finds like the kryptonite in the garage.
Well,
Really
it's to cheer
yeah.
up. He needed a bowl of Cheerios to
Yeah,
cheer
it's
up
like
because his
big
dad just
Cheerios.
died.
Yeah.
I just like that stuff. Yeah, it's not as bad as like the IHOP one in Man of
I
Steel.
was thinking of IHOP and Man of Steel, where
The
he
bully
tears through
works
the
at IHOP
IHOP.
later.
Mm.
Yeah, that
Or
was a
the
good
dunk
song.
or the Dunkachino, right? That's the one everyone always
Jack
goes
and
back
Jill.
to.
The one at Dunkachino. Say hello to my chocolate planet.
Yeah, between Superman and Superman 2, it seems like a lot of people generally consider the second movie the superior of the two. Do you have a preference, Ralph?
Well, I just watched the first one for this, but I like both of them. Again, it's cool how they tie into each other because like Zod is set up in the beginning of Superman 1, and that doesn't like tie in at that movie at all, really. It's just set up for the second movie, which is cool how they shot them back to back, whatever, playing them back to back, like you were saying. But yeah, I don't know. I love Superman 2 also. I do probably prefer the first one, just because of the quaintness. They're also so tied together. Like I like both of them because they're so tied to each other. And 3 kind of feels like its own thing. That's
Yeah,
like they were,
three three is
went off the
where,
rails,
yeah, Richard Lester
and
was
then
given
4
full
is like they
control.
went off a cliff. Yeah,
Hmm.
right.
Yeah, I did so this wasn't the first time in a while that I had revisited these movies. I wound up watching them. I bought a VCR off of eBay last year, and I was like, what can I watch on here? And I bought all the Superman movies, and I started watching
Mm.
them that way. And then the Richard Donner cut of the second film, you can only see on like DVD and Blu-ray. So obviously I watched that in traditional fashion. And seeing, I guess, Superman 2 versus Superman 2, the Richard Donner cut, I thought was a very interesting juxtaposition there of tones and everything. But yeah, I mean, honestly, I thought even the fourth Superman movie was charming, where they use, what is it, like a made up villain for the film
Oh,
Nuclear
that one's
Man?
terrible.
Oh no, is
Yeah,
that the
Radiation.
one is that the one where he fights in Mars or something?
they
On the
do something
moon.
like that.
The moon. And it's
The
like the
moon, right?
worst. It looks like a fucking set. Like you could see like the black drape in the background. Like that's how
The
bad.
budget's like clearly lower than
Like the
any of the
effects in the
preceding
first one are
movies.
better. Like the
Mm.
effects in the original.
Isn't the costume of the bad guy just like a tank top? It's just like
Something like yeah, he's dressed like a
a
American gladiators like
yeah, it's like a
character.
tank top with a letter on it or something.
Yeah, it was really it was something like Radiation Man or something. I gotta look
Radiation,
it up.
yeah, yeah. It was. Listen,
Listen,
it's the weakest of the four. I still enjoyed it. I thought it was like, all right, you know what? I
it's
can do this.
horrible. Nuclear Man.
I can do
Yeah.
this any day over even like Marvel at its best. I'll go back to Superman 4.
Like, yeah, you can enjoy like the datedness of it. That's fair. But this, as far as like actually making a good movie, like the first two Superman movies, I think are great movies, and then Superman after that hasn't been a good movie, like probably since two. Like that, Superman's been on a pretty bad streak ever since that, and
You don't like Superman Returns?
not necessarily no. I just bad.
I think that's the most boring one by a mile. It
Yeah,
tries to
Yeah.
make some of the most
yeah,
interesting decisions, and it still winds up being the most boring movie.
really boring. Yeah, and I like the scene where he rescues the plane. That's about it. Even as like a when I was younger. That was the only part of the movie I liked, and then the rest of it I thought it was boring. I'm like,
So like the first 15 minutes, basically.
basically, yeah.
Yeah.
The first 15 minutes, right?
Have you ever seen Superman? I think it's called Superman versus the Mole Men.
No, was that animated?
No, this is not animated. This is the first theatrically released Superman
Oh,
movie.
Oh,
oh, that's like really old, like from the 40s or
Yeah, this was one of the VHS tapes I bought, and literally the Mole Men were just like little people dressed up with little egg heads,
costumes.
and they
hell
were like trying
yeah.
to burn a farm
Oh,
down or
that's
something, and that
really,
was
really
the problem.
Is
yeah.
that barrel chested Superman?
Oh
Is that
yeah,
no muscle Superman?
George
Hell yeah.
Reeve. Yep. Hmm.
That's really funny. Yeah, this movie had a little more production value.
Well, I think oh man, I think there's a tie to those original Superman serials in the movie. I feel like the parents in this movie might have
In the
been.
Flash. In the Flash, you see it. Right. Remember
Oh,
when the
oh
Flash
right.
is
How could
running?
I forget the Flash? Yes,
Yeah.
we have
Yeah.
all the
Of course,
CG.
that masterpiece.
Yeah, yeah. You see George there doing the thing, right? Doing the Superman
Oh right,
thing, I
they
think.
do throw George Reeve in there. Yes.
Yeah,
What a bold
like
swing.
Chris Reeve or
Hmm. And Helen Slater together also in that movie.
yeah.
What did you think of the Flash, Ralph?
um. What did I think I saw it once? It was funny when like there were these guys sitting in front of me, Flash, and they, like when Marvel fans see a movie, they like clap the whole movie or
Mm.
whatever. They were like those guys in front of me, but like
Ugh.
guys like that usually stay for the post credits. They usually stay for like all the stuff after. But these guys, like the second it's directed, but they like got up and walked out. Like they didn't stay for any of the post credit stuff. I guess they were just like, oh well, it was good. All right, let's go. They
Did it
seem like
have
they
a
were doing
post
it
credit?
well.
I don't
It
remember.
was horrible. There were post. Isn't that where Jason Momoa was in one of them?
That's right. Yeah, yeah. The post
Yeah.
credit scene is him getting drunk and falling in a puddle or something.
Yeah, isn't that one of them?
Uh,
Yes, they missed out on that.
uh,
That
uh,
greatness. No, that movie's it's so fucking weird though that it makes me like it more than even like some of the Zack Snyder movies because it's so fucking weird, like really bizarre.
The
Like
existence of it, I think, is just like it's
it's
an
like being on
interesting
acid.
artifact, you know?
It's just bizarre.
it's
Um,
full of so many weird decisions that you just kind of enjoy it because of that.
yeah,
There's so many. Like I think I did I see it in the theater? I don't remember. I think I might have seen it in the theater, and it was
saw it
just a
like
lot of
opening
like,
day.
yeah, it was a lot of just like, oh, okay, all right, that's a baby, I guess. In that
Yeah,
that scene where he
I
rescues the babies
definitely
from the house.
love like superhero movies because I see like all these movies opening day. Like I say I hate them, but then I always come back. I'm like a battered like housewife or something. Yeah, I
Just
was like,
abusive.
like well, you also want to see those movies with a crowd because that makes it better. Like you want to watch all those with a crowd. Like The Flash, even I saw this packed theater.
It
Um,
makes me hate the crowd. I went to Deadpool and Wolverine, and there were people like laughing and clapping at the most obvious. And I like that movie, you know?
yeah,
But
it can get annoying.
yeah.
Endgame got bad. Endgame is a guy who took a phone. It's an infamous story. I had to tell him to put his phone away or whatever. But yeah, it happens with those movies. It can get they can get rowdy.
Oh, you know what it was? You know what it was on Deadpool and Wolverine when Wolverine put on his mask? Somebody gasped. Somebody went,
I love that.
Hell yeah.
yeah.
Well, he waited how many years to see that? 30 years?
Yeah.
When the first
40
X-Men
years?
movie come
50
out?
years?
The first,
That's like a nerd crew, like Red Letter Media thing.
yeah.
Like when he
Yes.
put his mask on. Like
Yeah, well, he
there's
didn't
people who are actually like that. That's probably why they don't do that anymore. Like, no,
he
there's
didn't put
people who
it
actually
he
exist like
didn't listen, 3 movies there was no hint of yellow. I understand. I get it. I also gasped when no I didn't. But I
like
no
that.
I didn't, but yeah.
Not like some grand plot reveal or whatever.
Well, you
Deadpool
saw it in
Wolverine
you saw it in the
fine.
trailers. He was wearing the suit, so why are you surprised that he put the mask on? I don't understand. That's such a weird thing to be like, oh my god, he actually wore the thing that was on the trailers.
I had to watch it in the movie, experience it
Yeah.
in the movie. But that's why those things are fun. Like if the crowd isn't too much, then yeah. That's why like when you see Batman versus Superman that way, it's like miserable. because it's
No,
just
I was
all
gasping at every scene. I was going, I
people
was soy
dead
facing.
quiet. It was like a yeah, people just dead quiet watching the movie, and it's like the most miserable
Yeah.
thing. That's why DC, they're like, look, we need someone like James Gunn to come in, like the jokes, like we need jokes. People need to laugh in the theater, like, or they're not gonna pay to come and pay $30 for a ticket, their IMAX ticket.
Were there a lot of gasps when he said Martha? Was it a lot of like?
Yeah. Martha. Yeah. It
Listen,
makes
I'll
you
tell
go,
you right now,
I just
I'm
hate
a
that.
big fan of both of them. I never realized both of their moms were named Martha. So
Zack Snyder realized that.
yes, he realized it.
Because he's a mega
It was
fan.
hiding
Oh
in
my
plain
God.
sight. But me, I was like, this is
Zack Snyder's
unbelievable.
the only
Yeah,
one. Yeah.
that
We
was
put a whole
my
cinematic universe together on that.
it's my Robin moment, right? With Dark Knight Rises, where
Robin,
it's like,
yeah, yeah. No,
"Oh, so your
Hans
name is
hates the moment
Robin?"
at the end of Dark Knight Rises where like it sticks in his cross specifically that they go, oh, you should use your real name, Robin, and not what did you
Not the
want?
That was
actual.
yeah. Like
I one
Dark
of the
Knight
names.
Rises, I
There's
love that
there's
movie.
five of
It's
them.
not perfect. That's one of the things where I'm like Dick Grayson, you could have said, or
Give
like
me something.
right,
Give
that
me
would have
fucking
been
something.
at least
I'm
because you
just
would go, oh, okay, he becomes whatever.
listen.
Yeah, like that
I
makes more
understand.
because
I
then
under,
he can't become Robin if his name is Robin.
I understand that I might be the only person in the world that's a bigger fan than Robin the Batman, but when that happened, I was like, oh, wait, no, Robin is called Robin. What the fuck? Like
Yeah,
immediately, I was like,
that's
oh, fuck
Christopher
you.
Nolan
Like
trying to
that,
throw you a bone, and like it's
it
just
bothered me.
yeah,
Exactly. That's why it bothered me so
yeah,
much. Is I was like, oh,
yeah.
fuck you. Oh, fuck you. Yeah.
Man,
So
fuck
that,
off.
yeah, yeah, exactly. It's
No,
like
that's
that's not
fun.
a
That's one
bone.
thing they fucked up with that movie. Yeah, there's a few things they
That's
fucked up with that movie, but yeah, that was definitely one of them. But yeah, like that movie's so ambitious with like that movie's dark, but like it just works so much better with Batman than Superman. To me, Superman is goofy and like kind of old style, campy. Not even goofy necessarily, just it's not all about like the action and the violence. It's interesting you can't like kill him really, so that's not where the drama comes from. The drama comes from the characters and like all these
Hmm.
people around him, like Lois Lane, who in this movie's actually a good character, unlike the Amy Adams version of the character or whatever.
Well,
Who-
Mario Kidder's got so much natural charisma
He's
that
great.
she's able to embody that a hell of a lot better. And I'll say that that might be one thing that is going for the James Gunn Superman is Rachel Brosnahan, I think
Mhm.
her name is a bit closer in tone to that Lois Lane character that is like familiar. That seems to be like what most of these interpretations of the character have been going for, somebody a little spunkier.
Sure. And yeah. Um no, you're right. I agree. And yeah, I think she looks great in the movie too. Rachel, whatever, Miss Maisel. She's in like that new, the Rami Malek movie that just came out. The I saw the movie. I don't remember the title. But
Uh,
whatever it's called, it's like a
hmm.
hacker, of course.
oh,
But
he
like
plays
she's
this.
like his wife in it for like 2 seconds. She's like in it, like she's barely in it.
The amateur.
So the amateur. That's it. Like that's how boring of a movie it was.
Oh yeah, I kept seeing that, and then I would get that merged in my head with the accountant, and then I would just forget
Yeah.
about the amateur, and I think
Oh, the
about
accountant
John
popcorn bucket.
Bernthal.
If you want that,
Hmm.
they made an accountant popcorn bucket. It's just his RV from the movie. It's just like an RV. It's just an
Who's
RV.
buying these things?
Hell yeah.
I wanted that. When I saw that, I'm like,
That
what the fuck is that?
yeah,
Oh,
looks
it's a
cool.
it's a popcorn bucket for the accountant too.
My favorite thing is when Regal tries to compete with like AMC in doing this, and they just come out with the most random shit imaginable.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
it.
Come on, you want it.
That looks like
I kind of do. Honestly, I kind of do want it, but I
that's
know it's
so
going to be
cool.
$52
But like, I'm like,
for your
what is
large
that
popcorn.
for? Like, what is that from? I looked at the bottom. I'm like, oh, it's the accountant too. All right,
Does he do
Airstream
his
replica.
does he do his accounting in his
He does his
trailer? Is
accounting in
that
there. I guess they show it a little bit in the movie.
Oh,
That was a weird film.
The
Um,
accountant too.
yeah. I mean, we
Yeah,
could talk about
that I didn't
that
see
movie.
the accountant one, but I got dragged to the accountant too, and I thought it was going to be more sophisticated than what it was. It was like very Big Bang Theory.
Oh, that's a good comparison. When there was like I'm not even like kidding or like trying to be offensive. There's like a group of like autistic children who worked for him in like a HQ, and like like give him orders or whatever, or like tell him where to go. Like, oh, there's a guy around the corner. And it's like it was one of the silliest parts of the whole movie. That's when I was like, this is like a really goofy fucking film. Like I didn't realize because they
I
sound like
didn't expect it to
uh,
be like an orphanage of. It's
they sound
basically
like it's a
X-Men.
Soderbergh movie, like it's like Black Bag or something. Like it's nowhere near that level of like intellectual, you know,
No, no,
but
no.
But when
anything.
does he
Uh,
do accounting?
he
When does
does
he
some
account?
accounting,
Oh, okay.
a little
Ben
bit.
Affleck
Does
doing
some
math.
numbers on the window. Draw some
I
numbers.
know I know nothing about this movie other than Ben Affleck is in it. I literally saw the accountant and I was like, cool, I'm not
Yeah,
watching this. That's great. I have no
yeah.
idea what it's about. That's why when I see the RV and I'm like, oh, is
The
that
whole
his
thing is
office?
he
Like I
has
don't.
autism, so has superpowers. He could like he has like he does the drug cartel accounting like for all the drug cartels and stuff like that.
Oh,
It's like a criminal. He's like a criminal kind of guy. He works for crime.
the buff accountant.
It's really stupid. And then I didn't like John Bernthal's his brother. He's in the first one, but he's in like the second one in the advertising. I didn't realize he's in the first one at all. But that's who he is. It's his brother. And then yeah, the best part was they go to a bar and they get in, like a bar fight in the second one. That was
Oh,
the
right.
best scene.
You mean where he's like square dancing?
Yeah, because it's like, oh, they actually have like a personality, like both of them. You kind of see like he's like a stick in the mud autistic guy, and then he's like square dancing, like having fun, and the brother's like cheering him on. It's like, oh, okay, there's like some kind of dynamic going on. It's not just like I don't know, weird scenes of like Ben Affleck like drawing on boards and like bad acting and whatever.
Yeah,
Um,
his performance in it is so cartoony too. It's like he's not trying even a little bit. He was just very excited about the paycheck, I guess. I don't know.
we're just talking about the accountant too now.
Yes.
This is an accountant
It's
too
bizarre.
podcast.
Like it's just yeah, that movie's bizarre.
Goes great with Richard Donner's Superman, some would
Yeah,
say.
it does.
I think
Yeah,
so.
it's a great double feature. Yeah, they get back in Superman. Like it's like what they say in Kill Bill 2, I think. The line like what makes Superman cool is like Clark Kent is his secret identity, not Superman. Like because most superheroes is like the inverse. Like Batman's secret identity is Batman. But Superman, he's trying to hide the fact that he's Superman by being Clark Kent. That's like his alter ego. I like that. That's another thing that makes him different. Um, it's just like yeah, like highlighting like the parts of the character that make him different, and not just trying to make him like Batman and make him dark and brooding and whatever. It's just like a straightforward movie, Superman. That's why I like it. It's just it work. That's what works about it. It's straightforward and it's the template for every superhero movie that comes after it. It's like a game changer. And it's
You know,
great.
somebody I think who's underrated in this movie we haven't talked about yet is the character Otis. What is that actor's name again from Deliverance?
Mm, yeah, that's right. It's like one of Lex Luthor's like henchmen.
Yes, his go-to
It's
guy,
like
his right-hand
he's
man.
Igor. He's Igor, right?
Yeah, kind of like and then he has like the dumb bimbo works for him. Yeah, it's funny. That's like very comic booky. It stays true to its like comic book roots too, with the tone and just but everything's just right. It never gets like, oh, I'm not taking this seriously, too goofy,
It's
but
Ned Beatty.
it never gets too
Ned Beatty, yeah.
self-serious either. Yeah, Ned Beatty. Yeah, it's like a funny character that
It feels like there's connective tissue. Like I feel like at this point in time, there's probably not much of a deviation in terms of whatever the general perception of Superman is. Like if you go and read the comics, you're probably getting something that's pretty close to the serials. It's probably close to the TV show of the 50s and maybe even like the radio dramas they used to have. Like there's a very clear through line of who this character is and what he's defined to be. And I think it's a good uh, polarization compared to like say Batman, where that character gets reinvented when you go from 1940s to 1960s, and then it becomes this campy, colorful, bam pow, whatever, and
it
then you
becomes
get
more
Tim Burton.
yeah. And then it got like more like grounded realism with Nolan. And now like the Matt Reeves one's kind of like a weird hybrid of all those and like the video game and whatever. I don't know if that's ever gonna come out, but the new
The
Bat,
second one.
yeah.
Yeah, didn't they just confirm that the second script is ready or whatever the fuck?
Oh, did they? Oh, thank God.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
It's
they
like
did.
it's
Yeah.
like been so delayed so long.
I thought that movie was dead on the slab. I thought they were canceling it because at one point we had like 3 different Batman projects between like Michael Keaton, Ben
I
Affleck,
think
and
that's
the
what's
Snyderverse,
fucking
and
everything up is like this cinematic universe shit that James Gunn's trying to do. I don't think Matt Reeves really cares about it or wants to do it. I don't think Robert Pattinson necessarily wants to do that either.
from what I've heard, they've tried to make offers to Robert Pattinson, and they've talked to Matt Reeves about merging these two things, which I don't think it would be very clumsy if they did that. I'm not saying
No,
there
that
wouldn't
would
be a way for them to do it, but I think it wouldn't be a good move.
yeah.
I don't know if this Superman movie is really going to make money at the box office. I haven't seen like any real enthusiasm for it in a way that would
Hmm.
indicate that. So I think that would be like hitching its wagon to a car that's about to go off the cliff. I think that would be a bad move. But also, just to get back to the earlier point I was making, I don't think there's really a deviation in what that Superman character is up until Smallville. I feel like Smallville might be the first time where you have something that does feel like a departure from the character as he's generally recognized.
Sure.
Hmm.
Well, Man of Steel's a departure.
Well, that's a big departure for the better,
Bad
personally. I can't wait for Zack Snyder to come back at Warner Brothers. Uh, yeah,
Yeah, the air cut.
the Ayer cut. Oh
Yeah,
boy, those
Oh
people need to
gosh.
give up. Listen, it's too late. It's too late. That
that's like I hope that's dead at
that
this
ship
point.
has sailed.
That's
Yeah.
never gonna
And
happen,
now
man.
Jared Leto's got like accusation. It's never coming out. That is
Oh
not
yeah,
happening.
right. Yeah, yeah. Curious
So,
what's gonna happen to Tron and
oh
I think.
yeah,
Oh
Disney.
fuck.
Yeah,
Oh, I wonder
that's
what
not
they're
gonna
gonna
be
do
good.
with that. They're gonna CG him out of the movie, like they did with the Kevin Spacey
Yeah,
movie.
they'll
All the
have
money.
Christopher Plummer take his place. Is he still alive, Christopher
Oh,
Plummer?
I think he passed away.
Oh, do it anyway. That didn't
Yeah,
stop the Flash.
replace him with an actor who passed away.
Yeah, you do the thing from Alien, right? Where you have an android that kind of looks like the actor that died.
Yeah, yeah. I like that movie, Alien Romulus. That's probably the worst part of that movie though, was that
Completely agree. Yeah,
in home.
that
Because the rest of the movie, I'm like, this is awesome. Like the effects, great. Kaylee Spaney, great. Like great. Like I love the android character. You know, like her, her like brother friend character, like that. Excellent. Then like Ian Holm, no, that was
no.
awful. No, didn't
I
need that.
uh
At all. That could have just been an android. Didn't have to be Ian Holm.
I
Could
wound
just
up
go.
going to see that in IMAX. That was not like a movie I was looking forward to seeing. It was just part of like, oh, we're all going to see this movie. Okay, fine.
Mm.
And I was just really surprised and impressed that it looked so good when it was originally intended to be direct to Hulu. It was like this
Oh
would have
really?
been, yeah, this would have been a
I
real
didn't
missed
know that.
opportunity if they didn't put it in IMAX theaters.
Yeah, that movie looks incredible. Yeah, great. I saw it RPX the second time, so like, yeah, I saw that twice in a theater. That's how much I liked it.
Yeah.
It was like being it was like Dead Space. It was like being in like a. It was awesome. Like it's just like a good experience movie, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
All right. Well, we're not going to take up too much more of your time, Ralph. So I want to
or I love
know.
chatting with about movies. So
Good, good. I want to know what is the best movie you've seen so far from 2025.
this year, oh, that's tough. Wait, let me pull up my letterbox because that makes it much easier. But I really enjoyed the Formula One movie. That's definitely up there for
Mm.
me because I just saw that twice. I saw the IMAX twice. Yeah, I fucking love that. Do you guys like Formula One or into Formula One at all?
Like the actual Formula One or the movie
The
Formula One?
sport. The sport.
I'm not familiar with it, honestly, but I'm looking forward to the film.
Yeah, but it's I like it. I think I got into it mostly from like watching a lot of documentaries like Senna and there's like the Drive to Survive show on Netflix. I watched that. I'm like, oh, this is cool. It's actually from the same. I think the director of Senna produced it or directed some of those episodes of that.
Mm.
It's a show on Netflix. But I'm
Hmm.
like, oh, yeah, I'll check out Formula One. And I've gotten really into it over the past like year or whatever. So I'm like, this movie that came out, I'm gonna watch it. It'll probably be fucking awesome. It's got Brad Pitt, and yeah, it was great. Like it's great if you're a fan of that stuff too, because they got like all the racers in there. Like it's actually like it's like one of the greatest sports movies I've ever seen, and how it basically just takes a real sport and plops in like a fantasy team. They like create a fake
Mm.
team that like Brad Pitt's one of the drivers for this fake team that doesn't exist. Kerry Condon's like the one of the mechanics or whatever, something like that. I forgot the role she does, one of the operators. But like it's just all about like this fake team, and we're gonna insert them in. But all this other shit that's going on is real. Like they have like the real team heads and the real drivers all around them, real sports announcers and journalists that you see in like the TV show. And it's like, oh, this is such a cool like sports movie. I've never seen a movie like that. It's really
Mm.
awesome how they integrate all that in, and like the performances from like people who do have lines are pretty good. Like, Toto was good in the movie, and like, they show like Max Verstappen like a little bit, but it's not like distracting. Like you just enjoy the movie. So that one was good. 28 years later, did you see that?
Yeah,
I love
we just covered that recently. That movie I thought was chock full of some very, and I don't mean this in like a negative connotation, just very strange decisions creatively for what I
Yeah,
was
that's what I like
anticipating.
about it. Yeah, yeah. Because you expect like a horror movie, but then because that's how the first one is. The first one's a weird movie too. 28 Days Later. I hate the second one, or I don't hate it. It's just
I
whatever. It's
think that's
mediocre.
another movie where it's like you can watch the first 10 minutes and then you're good. You know, the opening of
Yeah,
that is the
it's
best
really
part.
yeah. The opening's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when he like gouges the woman's eyes out or whatever that part. That's it. The rest of the movie sucks. And it's stupid. Like everything it introduces, and like the movie, like, oh, there's like a woman who's like immune to the infection. Like that's stupid. Like and then they like this the new one just ignores all that. Like all that shit. Like at the end of that movie, like, oh, it's spread to France. They're like, just ignore that. None of that happened. Just fuck that shit. The movie
When
sucks.
when we were
Uh,
talking about that, Hans brought that up. I was like, "What are you talking about? That didn't that was probably World War Z." No, it was just
yeah,
it happened,
and
and that movie's too boring to
Oh, okay.
remember.
yeah, they're just like, fuck that shit. They
Yeah.
killed it off. Well, I love that decision personally. Yeah, but that was great. It's good style. It was like really intense. I love the end. I don't want to spoil too much, but like the whole end with like the mom and like how they resolve the mom storyline. That was like so like moving. Like I didn't
Just
expect
cool.
it to get that deep with like a zombie summer movie. But yeah, I love that stuff. That was really unexpected.
I'm looking forward to the. I guess the sequel is literally coming out in what, like 6 months. It's going to
Yeah.
come out in January. So,
They shot it back to back. It was like this man 1 and 2. Yes. But
and
Is
yeah,
that gonna
Danny
be in
Boyle's
theaters
going
or
the
to
is
direct the
Bone
third one.
Tower, it's called, or something like that.
Yeah,
Might be
is
like
that
a
gonna be in theaters or is that like streaming?
yeah, no theaters.
Oh,
That one actually, I think, has a stronger cast. At least based off of the billing, because they got Cillian Murphy back, Aaron Taylor Johnson's coming back, and then they have Jack O'Connell, uh,
yeah.
actually
I
being,
assume that Jack O'Connell will be more part of that one.
and Danny Boyle's going to do the third one if that one makes money. And I guess this one's been a success. It crossed $100 million. I don't know what the budget was.
Yeah,
So
it's couldn't have been too high.
with iPhone cameras.
Yeah, great. I like the Ray Fiennes character in that he like obsessed with death, and I don't want to like get too much into it and spoil stuff, but yeah, it's like his obsession with death and like collects all these skulls and like he's like completely crazy. I love that. Warfare was great. That's another Alex Garland thing because he wrote 28 Years Later and he wrote Warfare. He directed it with another guy who was he's like a Marine or Navy SEAL. I think he was a Navy SEAL. Yeah, Warfare was great. Did you see that?
no, no, that's next up. My next theater visit is going to be F1. Warfare is on my list. I'm going to
Yeah,
check that out at some point before the year
that's
is
one
out.
you gotta see. Warfare is up there for me too. It's just like super realistic because again, it's like it's directed by a Navy SEAL. Like what happened in the movies, like something that actually happened to him, like his squad or whatever, and it's like super intense.
Mm.
And the guy did a lot of like consulting, military consulting for other movies like Act of Valor, which is bad, but it's got like some good military stuff in there, and I don't know, like other stuff too. I think like Black Hawk Down maybe. But yeah, I like a good military movie. But that one, like, it doesn't embellish like war or anything like that at all. It's all about like just keeping like that realism, like, there's no like cheesy shit of like the guys look at photos of their family or whatever and have a soppy speech about how they miss their family, and it's all like military talk. It's like Delta, bro, like blah blah, numbers. Like it's super objective, but that's like it's just that's what's great about it. It's like, yeah, like that's what I want to watch when I watch a war film. Uh, yeah, that's probably it. A Black Bag too was great. Um, there's a lot of good stuff that's out that you should watch.
Yeah, I
Definitely
still
watch
gotta I gotta take a look as well at both of these Soderbergh
Mickey
movies that came
17.
out.
Mickey 17 was good. I enjoyed Thunderbolts. Um, we're shitting on Marvel or whatever, but that was actually a good one from them recently. Like Marvel, I still have some faith in them because they do. Like I think Fantastic Four looks okay too.
That's gonna be the
Um,
one movie where we break from our abstaining from Marvel. We agreed to do an episode already
mm,
on Fantastic Four. That's going to be in the cards. So I appreciate that they're at least trying something a little bit different with that one, where it's in the past. It seems to be in the 1960s or something, and they're doing outside of that universe, I guess, for now.
MCU, yeah. Well, because it's before, it's so far before everything. Wait, they're gonna tie it in, and I don't know if you
Yeah.
saw Thunderbolts or like the post credits for that. Uh, I don't know if I should spoil. I can. It's been
It's
out a
You can
couple.
spoiled
for
it.
this audience, you can spoil it.
Everyone's
I
Yeah.
can
seen it
assure you.
already. Thunderbolts. It's like everyone's gonna see it, right? They see it the first weekend. But like the teaser at the end of that's like the Fantastic Four jet shows up in like modern day. So obviously they must like
Mm.
time travel at the end of that movie or something. Go to this movie or the MCU now. Um. So yeah, enjoy it while it lasts before they ruin it. You're talking like, oh, it looks cool, Fantastic Four. I'm looking forward to it too. Yeah, it looks fun.
I hope
Yeah,
so.
that's pretty
I
much it.
hope I'm not showing up at the theater wasting like $60 on
I don't
movie
think it's gonna
tickets.
be because none of the Fantastic Four movies are good. It's like it's batting average of zero, like 0 out of 3 so far. As far as the Fantastic Four,
The best
but they
one is
can't get
probably
the
the
Josh Trank.
Corman one from the 90s that they never put
The
out.
best, yeah, this is what people say. The best one's
Hell
probably the
yeah.
Jessica Alba one. If you even count the Roger Corman one, maybe you don't. Or I don't know if I've seen that whole movie. I might have seen pieces of it.
It's it's great. It's so
It's
stupid.
great. It's
It's
great in
so
like
dumb.
a tax write-off kind of way.
Yeah. No, the effects are great. Where when Mr. Fantastic stretches, he's never on screen. It's just the arm that stretches on the frame. It's great.
Yeah,
It has a lot
yeah.
of like special effects like that, where it's like, oh, I
I
can see
like
that you don't
I
have the
like
budget
oh,
for it,
yeah.
but it works
It
in
looks
a
funny.
horrible movie type of way. Like it's fun to watch
Yeah,
at
yeah,
least.
exactly. Nothing's worth it worse than the Josh Trank one. That's like
No,
Oh yeah.
that feels like it's two different movies just smushed together without any
yeah.
grace at all.
You
That was
could tell
rough.
what the different movie is or what the reshoots are when you see her wig.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Well, didn't that
It's
also
like
kill his
that's probably the
career?
worst movie wig of all time.
That
No,
killed his career too, right?
I think it was more his public complaints against Fox that hurt his career more
Uh,
than the movie flopping probably did.
Yeah, he might have just been jaded at that point from all that shit.
Well, he went on to
well, he did
make
that
the classic
Capone
Tom
movie.
Hardy movie. What was it called? Capone.
Yeah, Capone,
Capone, yeah, it
like
was
Gotti.
bad. Oh, it was so
That was
bad.
bad, Capone.
Yeah.
He was
So
like shitting himself, right?
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, it's very difficult for me to badmouth a Tom Hardy movie because I always find him entertaining, but that one was just
sure. I enjoyed Havoc. I actually enjoyed it because I saw they didn't get great reviews. So I guess but I enjoyed. There's some fun action in that movie. I thought
I don't even know what Havoc is, to be honest with you. I
it's a
feel
Netflix.
okay.
It's from the
Okay.
director of The Raid 1 and 2. Have you heard of those?
Oh
Oh,
yeah,
hell
yeah.
yeah.
His new
Yeah, yeah,
movie. He's
yeah.
been working on a movie with Tom Hardy for like years. I'm like, when is this fucking movie coming out? It finally came out on Netflix, and it's got like a
And
stupid ass story, but it's like got some fucking great action in there. You
Does it
know?
at least? Yeah, because that's what
So
you watch those
that's
raid
what you
movies
want.
for,
It's very
right?
like his
Yeah,
stuff is like John Woo kind of inspired for me, or you're like watching it for the
yeah, the
action.
action.
Or like one of those classic like Hong Kong action directors, like one of those, like hard boiled, like well, hard boiled has a
Oh
good
yeah,
story too, but it's like basic. Everything's very basic because it's all there to lead up to action scenes it's where are fucking awesome because he's the director of the raids. It's just like 10 minutes of like holy shit, just
yeah.
like
How the fuck did they shoot
fucking
this? Yeah.
craziness. But yeah, it was great.
Yeah, the problem
So
with Netflix, it seems like anytime there's a movie that drops, I don't know. If I even like recognize a visual, I'll merge that with some TV show that's not even on Netflix. Like the
gets
marketing
lost
for
like
any of
the
that
shuffle.
is, yeah,
Uh-huh.
it doesn't do the projects a service. So
Just so many problems with the industry right now. Yeah, streaming is like the biggest thing. Like, I don't know. Like, why would you like put like $200 million into something if you're just gonna dump it on a streaming service, right? And like no one's gonna watch it.
Yeah, and
Uh,
and you don't
there's
allow
no
them
like
to do
structure.
anything that
It's just not the
the
way movies have worked forever. It's always worked like Oppenheimer. You release it in theaters on film, people watch it, you make your money, most of your money like that. Then you go to like home distribution. Like this whole like I don't know how it's sustainable. I don't know how these studios make money that way. Um
well, it's
well,
all
especially when
laundering.
the risk or the only the
I
only
know.
risk they take is just, oh, we're gonna try a new director, but he can't do anything different, and the movie has to look like every other Netflix movie. So he's just like, what? Okay, so just more content then. Cool, risk
Yeah,
content.
it's just like a content farm.
Yeah,
And then like the movie theaters struggle because it's like they got to compete with all that shit and like stuff with like YouTube and TikTok and people on their phones. They're competing with all this shit, video games, and it's like, okay, how do we draw people in to like let's make the fucking seats shake like what like 4DX whatever. There's like
yeah.
this you can smell the movie and
You
what
can
like
get an
they
Airstream popcorn
just
bucket.
so they can charge you more money. Or yeah, you can get an accountant popcorn bucket. So they can get more money out of you because they need money to like keep and everything's a franchise because that's all that makes money. It's all like How to Train Your Dragon live action, Lilo and Stitch live
Yeah.
action, remake of this superhero movie. And it's like it's I kind of feel like things are getting more back to normal. In a way, that's normal. That's like how Hollywood always is. Like, because it used to be like superhero movies, like that's all that made money. Now it's like other movies have a chance. But I don't know. It was just a weird state film, an indie film. Because like I'm a filmmaker, you guys are filmmakers trying to navigate it. It's like, how do you navigate it? It's like I think you need to make
Yeah.
things for less money, and and the streaming, I have no idea. Like how do you rectify that? But like I feel like you need theater. You need like a theater to show your movie. Like even if it's just like one showing. Just to give it like Whispers in Shadows, I think that gave it some credibility that it
Mhm.
was in a theater.
All right, we're gonna wrap up on that note. Ralph, where would you like to direct people?
You can go to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Ralph the Movie Maker. Oh, also I have like a little company where I sell like candles. I have a candle
You
company.
have a candle company.
I do. But they're inspired by scents from movies like Jaws and Star Wars or whatever. So I guess Etsy.com. Wait, I'm gonna pull up the link for you guys so you can maybe I'll send it to you too. You
Yeah,
can
you
put it
can
in
send it to me over email if you
Yeah.
want. I'll throw it
yeah,
in
I'll
the
send it to
description of
you
the
on
episode.
email. Yeah, it's like
Okay.
movie candles on Etsy. But yeah, they're really cool. They're like inspired by all different scents for movies. Like there's one that's like The Shining. This one inspired by The Thing, so it kind of smells like Arctic, hint of like fire.
What would be the scent of this movie, Superman, the movie?
That's interesting. I gotta think about
Ooh,
it. You could do like the scent of like Krypton or something. Like what did Krypton smell like?
the
Hans,
Forest
what
of
did
Solitude.
Krypton
What does
smell
it
like?
smell?
Because the Star Wars one's like it's like Endor. It smells like a forest. So it's like the forest moon or whatever. What would Krypton smell like? Yeah. Well, people
Well,
suggested I
most
should do a Dune one, like the spice. Like that one, I can imagine like the spice, like a spicy, like maybe like cinnamon kind of
Hmm.
scent.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
Markinen scented candle. It's just stink. Just armpit and belly fat
yeah,
smell.
yeah. That's like the jelly beans in Harry Potter. Yeah, like the earwax jelly bean that has earwax.
Well, that's
Yeah.
really cool, Ralph. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show and talking about this, talking about The Accountant 2, talking about
Talking
Havoc.
about all of it.
Yes, we
Man.
ran the
It was a
gamut.
pleasure. Thank you for having me on, and thank you again for coming to my movie. The screening, I appreciate it, and yeah, you appreciate you supporting my film. So I'll try to do the same for your film, and yeah, keep me updated about it. I want to watch it whenever it's
I'll say,
out. Whenever,
maybe I'll send you a screener or something. We'll see. We can
yeah,
talk about it
cool.
over email.
That's
But
great.
all right, man. Take it easy. And that has been Movies for this week. Thank you
Hey.
for listening.